who I think had the bottom 5 draft picks in the league this year as far as an organization. Let's talk about my bottom 5, and here they are. The Dolphins, Jeff. Listen, a lot of people are high on the Dolphins picks. I want to know what need did they address in this particular draft. I don't see it. They got a D tackle. Okay, I know they needed one. They also have a linebacker issue that continues to have injuries. They addressed that. I don't know if they addressed a left tackle or a right tackle to protect a left-handed quarterback. I don't know if they addressed anything to be able to run the football efficiently to keep Tua upright in order to run the offense that they want to run, which is play action, boot naked, waggles, and get Tua on the run because they know he's not the tallest and he doesn't have the liveliest arm. So the Dolphins, in my opinion, failed this draft. I don't think it's good at all. I've seen a lot of draft people picking them as a B-, C+. I have them as a D-. I don't believe they did really well. I've seen that the Bears have had the best draft. Now, let me be clear here why I have them on my most overrated list, bottom of the barrel list. Jeff, you were not a quarterback away from a Super Bowl team. You were not a receiver away from a Super Bowl team. We use these drafts and show them that everyone has them as an A+ draft. And I'm sitting there like, dog, you just replaced Justin Fields, who has 3 years of live ammunition, with another rookie quarterback that we don't know about yet. And you didn't really address any other issues other than a few guys in some spots that we don't even know who they are, other than Udunzi and Caleb Williams. I got to be real. I don't think this draft for the Bears is going to be the draft that gets them over the hump to win a Super Bowl. So I'm not putting them as high as everyone else. The only reason they put them that high, Jeff, is because they drafted Caleb Williams, who is a figurehead now in the social media space because of his off-the-field antics and a Heisman Trophy winning trophy, period. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. That's why these people put him at 1, period. I don't see it. The Broncos, I think, failed the draft this year. They already had need issues. They got rid of guys. They did not replace them. I'm not a Bo Nix guy. Shaun King will discuss it further with us. I think the Broncos failed miserably. The Cowboys, I believe, just continues to do what they do. They weren't eager enough, in my opinion, or had any sense of urgency to make any moves to address certain things. You lost Tyron Smith. I want to see them replace. I know they had a replacement in place, but I don't know if he's the long-term guy, especially for a guy in Dak Prescott who you're discussing on re-signing for big money. I don't agree with what they did. And then the Falcons, we can all argue. We've had Michael Lombardi on this week. I don't see what they did. I'm a Michael Penix fan. I don't believe they addressed one issue that team has. That team is not a backup quarterback away from winning a Super Bowl. It was the most asinine decision I've seen in a long time. Basically, you went against the money. You just paid Kirk Cousins, Jeff, and you did not address anything Kirk Cousins needs to be successful within that organization. The Falcons take the cake for me this year.
Yeah, I think a lot of these teams, I can see where you're going with them. As far as the Dolphins, I didn't really understand them either. I think you make a good point. Truth is, though, their offensive line was actually pretty good last year. But again, you want to kind of address the right side. They didn't do that. Patrick Paul, as far as I know, kid they drafted out of Houston, doesn't play on the right side. He's strictly a left tackle. He's not a swing tackle, which is weird. I didn't understand that thought process. They also didn't really address defense outside of Chop Robinson. Did they address the secondary? Not really. This was the defense they gave up over 23 points a game. The Bears, I disagree here. I think at the end of the day, here's if I have an issue with what they did. They didn't address their offensive line, really. They didn't go out and get a guy that can come in and you could plug right in. They could play guard or tackle. This is a bad offensive line, and if you can't protect your quarterback you just got, it ain't going to work. That's kind of the issue there. And 100%, you got to do that. And they didn't do it. But they went out and got one of the better receivers in the draft in Rome Aduzier, and they got the best quarterback, at least on paper. Okay, whether he is successful or not, we don't really know. Cowboys, I would also disagree. I think they went out and addressed two things they needed, which were two pieces of depth on the offensive line. And I think they have a guy who can play right away in Tyler Guyton on the left side. They also go out and get Cooper Beebe, a guy who is very durable. You could put him in at guard or tackle. He can really play everywhere. I liked what they did personally. Again, I get what you're saying, but I think it's for you more of you just don't like Caleb Williams, and that's fair. Because if he doesn't play well, then yes, it's a total failure.
And listen, it's not that I don't like him. The only reason I say that is you replaced the guy that you were building around, that you had 3 years, that you really didn't help at all in 3 years. And then this year you go out and make a Keenan Allen move, and you do all these moves, and it's like a backhanded slap in the face. Like, hold on, now we're going to start over what we just did 3 years ago, but actually give the quarterback a little bit of help. That's why I'm suspect on what that is entailing.
I'll throw a team out here. The Giants. I'm just still not understanding this process of why they haven't addressed the quarterback position. Like even in the third or fourth round, like they could have went out and got Spencer Rattler right in the third or fourth round. They didn't. What is the position and plan when Daniel Jones, or Daniel Dimes as we call him? What is the idea? What is going to happen? We're going to focus next year on the quarterback class? Because again, you're starting to run out of time. And at some point you have to address that. I do like the Tyler Nubin pick. I think he's a good safety, but all in all, did they really make changes? Where's the quarterback here?
Yeah, I don't know.